Thanks to me. And the idea of having a baby human with a little bit of you, a little bit of me, with your wicked smile in my eyes.
Hey everyone, welcome back to TV Deep Dive. I'm your host, Amelia, and today we're breaking down the explosive Season 1, Episode 34 of CBS's hit drama, Beyond the Gates. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss our weekly recaps. And fair warning, we will be covering every shocking moment from this game-changing episode, so consider this your official spoiler alert. After 34 episodes, we've finally reached what many are calling the most pivotal episode of the entire season. Reckoning Day delivers on its promise, bringing numerous storylines to a dramatic head and setting up what's sure to be an unforgettable season finale. So let's get right into it. Reckoning Day picks up immediately after last week's shocking revelation that Leslie Thomas has been working with federal investigators for months, gathering evidence against Vernon Dupree and Bill Hamilton's illegal business activities. With the community reeling from this betrayal, the episode focuses on the immediate fallout as characters are forced to choose sides while protecting their own interests. What makes this episode particularly powerful is how it brings full circle many of the conflicts established in the pilot. The carefully constructed facade of Oakwood Estates is now completely shattered, with the media camped outside the gates and residents turning on each other as self-preservation instincts kick in. The episode masterfully balances multiple explosive confrontations, unexpected alliances, and several jaw-dropping revelations that recontextualize everything we thought we knew about these characters. Let's break down exactly what happened in this pivotal episode. The episode opens with a tense montage of FBI agents establishing surveillance around Oakwood Estates, intercut with news reports about allegations of fraud, bribery, and corruption involving the community's founding and subsequent development projects. We then cut to Vernon and Anita in their living room, watching these reports with stony expressions. Their legendary composure is finally cracking as Vernon throws his glass against the wall, a shocking moment for a character who has always prioritized control. The scene between Vernon and Anita that follows is arguably one of the strongest in the entire season. Vernon finally admits the full extent of his illegal activities, including the truth about what happened to Marcus Hamilton 30 years ago. The revelation that Vernon was responsible for Marcus's financial ruin and subsequent suicide explains the decades-long hatred between the Hamilton and Dupree families, and Bill Hamilton's lifelong vendetta. Meanwhile, we see Bill Hamilton burning documents in his study while his daughter Chelsea watches in silent judgment. Their confrontation reveals that Chelsea has known about her father's crimes for years, a stunning revelation that recontextualizes her character's journey throughout the season. The parallel editing between these two powerful families facing their downfall creates a perfect symmetry. These rivals are now united in their shared destruction. After 34 episodes of calculating manipulation, this episode finally reveals Leslie Thomas's true motivations through a powerful flashback sequence. We learn that Leslie is actually Marcus Hamilton's niece, who changed her identity and infiltrated Oakwood Estates with the sole purpose of bringing down both Vernon Dupree and Bill Hamilton, the men responsible for her uncle's destruction. This revelation recontextualizes everything about Leslie's character: her calculated friendliness, her real estate career giving her access to everyone's homes, and her systematic gathering of secrets and evidence. What seemed like mere social climbing was actually a meticulously executed revenge plan years in the making. The scene where Eva confronts her sister about this deception is heartbreaking, as we learn Eva had no knowledge of Leslie's true identity or motives. The realization that their entire relationship has been built on lies creates one of the episode's most emotionally devastating moments. With their parents' legacies crumbling, the younger generation faces their own moral crisis. The episode dedicates significant time to how Nicole, Danny, Chelsea, and Naomi process these revelations. Nicole's world completely unravels when she discovers that Ted has been cooperating with federal investigators against her father in exchange for immunity. Their marriage, already strained by Ted's financial troubles and infidelity, appears to reach its breaking point in a devastating confrontation where years of resentment and secrets explode. Meanwhile, Danny faces her own crisis of conscience. Despite having discovered her father's crimes back in the pilot, she's spent the season torn between family loyalty and her moral principles. In this episode, she must finally decide whether to publicly come forward with the evidence she's been hiding, a decision complicated by her now public relationship with Chelsea Hamilton. The scene where Chelsea and Danny discuss their family's crimes is particularly powerful. These women who have fallen in love despite their family's hatred now face an impossible choice between loyalty and justice. One of the most satisfying storylines in this episode belongs to Martin Richardson, who has spent the season struggling to escape his family's shadow and find his authentic voice. After learning that his brother Ted has been working with the feds, Martin makes the difficult decision to reveal what he knows about both the Richardson and Hamilton families' financial crimes. His testimony will likely implicate his own family, but as he tells Smitty in a powerful scene, "I can't build our future on a foundation of lies." The evolution of Martin and Smitty's relationship has been one of the show's most genuine emotional arcs. They're seen together in this episode, where Smitty fully supports Martin's decision despite the potential consequences, showcases the strength they've built together. Martin's confrontation with Ted about his decision to cooperate with authorities creates one of the episode's most tense moments. Two brothers who have always been on opposite sides now finding themselves making similar choices for very different reasons. Just when it seems the Dupree empire is crumbling, Anita demonstrates why she has always been the most formidable character on the show. Refusing to accept defeat, she executes a contingency plan that has clearly been in place for years. We learn that Anita has maintained detailed records of every illegal activity in Oakwood Estates. Not just Vernon's and Bill's, but compromising information on judges, politicians, and business leaders who have connections to the community. In a chilling scene, she contacts a high-ranking Justice Department official with veiled threats that pursuing her family will result in mutually assured destruction for many powerful people. This revelation recontextualizes Anita's character entirely. Her social gatherings and philanthropy were never just about status, but about gathering leverage she could use if ever threatened. The scene where she calmly informs Vernon of her intervention showcases the power dynamic that has always existed in their marriage. She has been the ultimate strategist all along. The episode's most visually striking sequence occurs when an emergency Oakwood Estates community meeting descends into chaos. As residents demand answers about the investigation and how it will affect their property values and reputations, long simmering tensions erupt. This sequence brilliantly brings together nearly every character in a powder keg environment, allowing for multiple one. Eva publicly denounces her sister Leslie's actions while simultaneously condemning the community's willful blindness to corruption. 2. Bill Hamilton suffers a stress-induced medical emergency when confronted by residents he's defrauded, creating a dramatic centerpiece for the scene. 3. Naomi Hamilton finally stands up to her father and sister, announcing her intention to testify about what she knows. 4th, Smitty, whose medical expertise puts him above suspicion, becomes an unexpected voice of moral authority as he attempts to restore order. The visual chaos of this sequence, with its overlapping dialogues, rapid editing, and documentary-style camera work, perfectly captures the disintegration of the community's carefully maintained veneer of civility. In perhaps the episode's most surprising development, Anita Dupree and Chelsea Hamilton form an unexpected alliance. Despite being from rival families, these two formidable women recognize in each other a shared pragmatism and survival instinct. Their secret meeting reveals that Chelsea has been gathering evidence against her own father for years, not out of revenge, but to protect herself and her sister when the inevitable downfall came. Meanwhile, Anita offers Chelsea access to her network of powerful connections in exchange for helping to minimize the damage to both their families. This unlikely partnership between two of the show's most complex characters suggests a potential new power structure emerging from the ruins of the old order. The scene where they calmly discuss sacrificing Vernon and Bill to save themselves is chilling in its calculated pragmatism. These women have learned to play the game better than the men who created it. First, we see Dani making her final decision. She contacts a journalist to share everything she knows about Oakwood Estates, including the contents of Vernon's hidden documents and evidence of Anita's blackmail scheme. This choice puts her in direct opposition to both her parents and her lover Chelsea, setting up heartbreaking conflicts for the finale. Second, federal agents arrive at Ted and Nicole's home with an arrest warrant. But shockingly, it's for Nicole rather than Ted. The revelation that she has been actively involved in laundering money through her charity foundation, possibly without Vernon's knowledge, is a stunning twist that recontextualizes her character entirely. Finally, the episode ends with Leslie receiving an anonymous package containing a USB drive. When she plugs it in, her expression changes to shock as she views its contents, clearly something that changes everything about her revenge plan. The episode cuts to black before we learn what she's discovered, creating the season's most tantalizing mystery. Throughout the season, characters have wielded power as if it were absolute, but this episode reveals how fragile that power truly is. Vernon and Bill, once untouchable, are now at the mercy of others, including the women they underestimated. The episode poignantly examines how the children of Oakwood Estates must reckon with their parents' legacies. Some, like Nicole, have embraced the corruption. Others, like Dani and Naomi, reject it. While some, like Chelsea, have learned to weaponize it for their own purposes. The episode forces every character to confront the compromises they've made for success, security, or love. Martin's decision to choose integrity despite the cost stands in stark contrast to characters like Anita, who double down on manipulation as a survival strategy. The revelation of Leslie's true identity perfectly encapsulates the show's exploration of authenticity. In a community built on appearances, the person who mastered deception ultimately brings about its reckoning. Anita's blackmail strategy will partially succeed, resulting in a reduced investigation that sacrifices Vernon and Bill while protecting some community members. 2. The contents of Leslie's USB drive will reveal a connection to Eva that complicates her revenge plot, possibly that Eva is also related to Marcus Hamilton. Third, Dani's whistleblowing will create irreparable damage to her relationship with Chelsea, forcing both to choose between love and family loyalty. 4. Nicole will emerge as more calculating than we've realized, possibly making a deal that sacrifices Ted to save herself. 5. Martin and Smitty will leave Oakwood Estates to start fresh, becoming the only couple to escape the community's toxic influence. Reckoning Day delivers everything we've been waiting for throughout this incredible first season of Beyond the Gates. The performances were nothing short of phenomenal, particularly from and who brought such depth to their dramatic confrontations. With just one episode left in the season, the stage is set for a finale that will undoubtedly reshape this community forever. The brilliant writing has ensured that no character is entirely villainous or heroic. Each exists in a compelling moral gray area that makes their choices all the more fascinating. What did you think of this game-changing episode? Were you shocked by Leslie's true identity? And what do you think is on that mysterious USB drive? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit that like button and subscribe for our finale recap coming next week. Until then, I'm Amelia, and this has been TV Deep Dive into Beyond the Gates. Thanks for watching.